All right, everybody, back with a brand new Friday review here on the Cabral Concept. Excited you can join me. We're going to be going over the best of the week, any shows you may have missed. We've got a product review today. We also have what is new in BioTrackers and also what's not coming this year that we thought would be. So we'll go over that. Plus, we've got new research for you here today, a scary one on a specific type of medication that you're going to want to know about for your parents and or grandparents. This is an important one. They won't know about it. You need to share it with them. And the last one, if you've been dealing with blood sugar issues and you're worried about eating certain carbohydrates, I'm going to share the ones that are best for you that have been clinically proven to help with glucose levels. All right, so let's dive right into the show. Before we actually get in with our podcast recap from the week, wanted to share with you that we now have the dates for this year's Reimagining Health Summit. Mark it down. Save the date, this October, the 24th and 25th. This is our Reimagining Health Summit. Much more information to come. We're actually lining up the speakers right now. We already have the topics. This is an experiential event as well. That means it's not just unbelievable seminars, it's live Q&As from the crowd, interactive-based AI, and we have interactive vendors. That means you're actually going to test out the best of the best when it comes to sauna, cold plunge, red light, EWA machines, and so much more. So you won't want to miss it. Over 300 people there last year. We expect 500 people in attendance this year, and it is actually capped at 500 people for the year. Super excited. I will let you know when tickets go on sale, and that will just be in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned. If you're an IHP, you will hear about it first. And of course, we're going to share it with this podcast community, but that's about it. So we're going to keep this a nice tight-knit group for our health community all over the world. But this is just for us, just for our community to get together. We live in a virtual world, but getting together as a community, sharing that energy, and sharing with you things that they're not talked about, especially from this perspective in terms of improving your overall health, wellness, and well-being. It's all there at the Reimagining Health Summit. All right, so we'll talk more about that. Right now, I want to share with you, though, the podcast recap from the week. On episode 2978, if you missed it, it's recommitting to your 2024 goals. If over the last 90 days, you've kind of let some of your top 1, 2, or 3 goals go, you're going to want to check out this show. It's 7 questions to ask yourself for even if you should recommit to that goal or not. And if so, how to do it. All right, on Tuesday's show is stay out of the sun if you're on these specific medications and even one specific herb. Check that out. On Wednesday's show, microplastics and nanoplastics in the blood leads to an early mortality. Brand new study where the majority of these plastics are coming from, how to get them out of your body. Yesterday's show was the brand new scientific breakthrough. So this was on red light and how it can reduce blood sugar levels, literally 15 minutes. I share with you what type of red light, how you can use it, and when to use it during the day to reduce blood sugar levels. And not just by a little bit, by 27.7%. Absolutely remarkable. Great new studies. All of these shows are available at stephencabral.com/podcasts. But right now, head on over to stephencabral.com/2982 because that is where this brand new research and the latest and greatest for the product reviews will live. So many of you have noticed just over the past week or so that I am back to wearing an Apple Watch. So I was wearing a Garmin watch for the last 2 years. Previous to that, I was wearing an Apple Watch. And then before that, I wasn't wearing any database watches at all. It was always just a regular, Timex or whatever watch I might have been wearing. So here's the thing. I switched from the Apple Watch to the Garmin because I wanted really up to date on all on the face of my heart rate all the time, like all these different metrics. I wanted to look at my VO2, advanced cardio-based splits, all of that. But after a while, oftentimes you say, you know what, simpler is better. I want to go back to simple. And so really what I wanted was the motivation from the Apple Watch. I wanted the gamification. That's the truth. I'm going to share with you what I do to make the Apple Watch safer, but I wanted to share with you that on this Apple Watch, why don't we do this? Because if I take it off, the Apple Watch turns off. We're going to pop up in the screen. If you've never seen the 3 rings from the Apple Watch, let's put it right over my shoulder. And what I'd love to be able to do is just share with you on your Apple Watch. I use the watch face that actually shows the 3 rings all throughout the day and just the time. So basically all it does is show the time. Then it shows a red ring, a green ring, and a blue ring. And again, I'm not sponsored by Apple or anything like that. The Cabral concept, I love the show. I love the podcast, of course. I love being able to do this on a daily basis, but Apple does not sponsor the show. So the red ring is your total calories burned from activity for the day. So not your normal calories that you would say, but this is actually activity-based calories. And you can actually set your goal. So I set mine for the day for a minimum of 500 per day. It will give you a suggestion based on height and weight and age. I set mine for 500, all right? Because it's reasonable that I can close that ring every day. And of course I can do more, but I want to make sure that I at least get to 500. And then the ring closes. You can actually get to see it close throughout the day. And there's little fireworks that go off. It's fun. You know, it's just, that's literally, we're all just big kids, or at least I am. And so this is fun. Now the green one is exercise minutes. I set mine for 30 minutes a day. So a minimum of 30 minutes per day. And all you do is whenever you're starting your exercise, in the top right corner, there's a little person just getting ready to run. You click on that and you just choose your workout. It could be cardio, it could be strength training, whatever it is. And then it actually saves your most frequent workouts, what type it is, right to the top, so it's easy to select. All right, so that's 30 minutes a day. So now if I'm like, I don't really want to work out after work today, nope, I got to close that ring. So all it is just basically a little motivator, a little accountability chart. That's all that we all need, right? And the last one, so back in the day when I was using the Apple Watch, it was more recovery minutes or breathwork minutes. But now the 8 at the end, which I love, this is the main reason I went back to this. This is the truth. Main reason I went back to the Apple Watch is to ensure that you stand, and I stand, for at least 1 minute per hour. Because I used to have a job where I was on my feet all day long, like 20,000, 30,000 steps, no problem. Nutritionist, personal trainer, strength and conditioning specialist, walking from sometimes client home to client home. No, like all the time. Like I walked tons of miles every day, 10 plus miles. But truthfully, when I went back studying for my degree and then working in an office as a doctor of naturopathy and integrative health practitioner, I'm at my desk. I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm researching, and I'm recording. That's the truth. So I get my steps in the morning. I've talked about that before with my walk and talk. This does steps, so it'll track your steps, but that's not the main way for your exercise. And now what was happening was, okay, I get 5,000 steps in just before 9 a.m. because I do an 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. basically walk, and I talk with my team at that time. So I do 2 30-minute calls. So I've talked about that before, but that's basically what I do, a little walk and talk. But after 9 o'clock, after 9 a.m., I could be at my desk until 12, get up for a few minutes, have lunch, come back, move a little bit. But then again, I could be at my desk from, let's say, 12:30 to 4:30 or so without ever getting up. That's not uncommon. So what this will do at 10 of the hour, it will ping you to stand for a minute. I love that. I mean, again, like this is just an easy intrinsic motivator. So if you're a practitioner, this could get a client motivated. Now, downsides of the Apple Watch that people are, of course, worried about. There's a lot of things, right? I don't use my Apple Watch for emails, for text messages, for anything. I know people use it like a mini phone. I don't. I don't connect it. I turn off all my push notifications on it, and I turn off Bluetooth. So people wonder, well, then you can't get all the data. No, you can. You don't need all that. And what happens is at 8 o'clock at night, I turn off my watch. I've closed my rings for the day. I put it on there and I'm good. Yeah, the next 2 hours isn't going to get data. That's okay. I'm not using it for that. But what happens at that point is I can take off the Bluetooth and I can just transfer the data, just like I can for my Oura Ring, right? So my Oura Ring, I mainly use for sleep. It's one of the best sleep trackers that I've seen. The Apple Watch, I don't want to wear it to bed. I don't at all. Like it's just not an interest of mine. I like the ring. It gives me great data. The Oura Ring's not great at tracking activity at all, like in any way, shape, or form. Apple Watch is. And so that's what I use it for. Now, EMFs. I've shown this on Instagram. I put the EMF meter right to the Apple Watch, especially when Bluetooth is turned off. The thing is, almost zero EMFs. Almost zero. The phone is a different story. Now, I don't have my phone on me, so like sometimes I go to reach for it. I don't keep my phone on me or at my desk when I'm working. I don't need it. Truthfully, like I don't need it. My phone syncs up to my laptop if I really need to check messages or whatever it is. But the phone does have EMFs. The phone does have real radiation. So even though I keep a safe sleep case on it, and again, all my favorite resources, are at stevencabral.com/resources. But the truth is that this isn't, again, I'm open to data, meaning like I have a whole podcast on AirPods. I don't use AirPods. I use a wired headset, which you can see right here. I still use the wired headset. Why? Because I don't want basically radiation and frequencies going from one AirPod through my skull and brain to the other. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's good to keep that inside of your ear. So that's what I do. And I'm very conscious of these things. This Oura Ring can go on airplane mode, very easy. This Apple Watch can go on airplane mode and or Bluetooth off. So very simple. I don't use this as a computer. I use this as a timepiece. I use this as a fitness and activity motivator, and for me, it's working phenomenally well. And I've been thinking about going back to it for at least 6 months, and finally I said, you know what? Once I got back from a trip with my family overseas, and the Garmin watch never reset time zone wise, and I couldn't get into the settings, I couldn't fix it. I'm like, you know what? This is just a little sign, or at least that's how I rationalize it to myself. I'm going back to the Apple Watch, and I don't have cellular on this. You can't make calls. All I did was the basic package, basic watch, and it works fantastic. So for me, great motivator. I don't have to worry about the EMFs. I don't have to worry about the Bluetooth. All that's turned off. And again, like I said, I'm happy with it. And I just wanted to share why I went back. All right, there we have it. Next up, I wanted to share with you though, instead of doing a book review for the week, I was waiting also to get the new Apple Watch until the Apple X came out this September or potentially next March, April. So the Apple 10, the Apple X watch. Now, here's the thing though. I was waiting because I was told by a little insider information that it was actually going to be able to track your blood sugar in real time without using a continuous glucose monitor. Now, that would be one of the breakthroughs of the century. Literally, that would be a massive, massive breakthrough without having to prick the finger, right, for diabetics or for anybody, or wear a CGM, which sometimes, can be a little annoying, truthfully, right? I wear mine right next to my belly button. Some people wear it in the back of their arm. I don't like it in the back of my arm for exercise. My t-shirt's always rubbing against it. I roll over when I'm sleeping. I don't like it, but against my, on my stomach, I have no problem with it. But it's then on your stomach, right? So here's the thing. After doing some real research into this and talking with people in the field, it's not ready. They pulled the blood pressure reader off from meaning like you can still get your blood pressure. However, it's not in real time. That is not ready yet. You cannot get real-time blood pressure all the time. You also can't get real-time heart rate variability all the time. And you can't get blood glucose right now. From what I hear, you can almost like blood pressure. Like if you sit still and you have the right light and it's the right person, you can get blood glucose. But not there yet. I would love to see a device that eventually gives you blood pressure in real time, HRV in real time, heart rate variability, and blood glucose. That would be amazing, but not for another year or two. Minimum a year. I don't think it'll be there yet. My blood pressure might be. Truthfully, heart rate variability will get there soon. Hanu was doing it. They're moving away from it. Their device does work. They were using a polar heart rate chest strap monitor, the H10, linked to the Hanu app, and it does work. There's no doubt about that. You have to wear a chest strap, but it does work. The other device was the Leaf. That was fine, very good, but it was like a Holter monitor, a larger device that had to use sticky tabs, and you had to stick it below your left part of your chest. So there was no perfect way of doing that. And, again, truthfully, no one can do it yet with just a watch-based monitor or the Oura Ring. So not yet. We're getting there. We're close, but not quite yet. So since I knew it wasn't going to be coming for at least a year or two, I said, let's dive in. Let's get the watch. I'll wait a couple years before to get the upgrade. All right, so that's the latest and greatest in biotracking and wearables. And of course, I'm always trying to do things the safe way. Wouldn't make recommendations if it wasn't safe. All right, let's go over our research for the week. I don't like to share all the negative. I really don't. But sometimes these things are just public service announcements. You may have a parent, you may have a grandparent, or maybe you're moving into your 70s and beyond listening to the show, because we have many people in their 70s and beyond listening to the Cabral Concept. And I wanted to share this with you. So this was done, by Christina, Dr. Christina Jensen Dem. And they are a consultant neurologist and senior research scientist at Copenhagen University Hospital in Copenhagen. And the lead author of the study presented at the 2023 Alzheimer's International Conference in Amsterdam. Okay, I've been into Amsterdam a couple times, and it's one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever been to, literally one of the most beautiful. So here's what I wanted to share with you. This was a brand new recent finding, and it was just about 4 months ago. Okay, so pretty recent. For dementia patients, the risk of dying increased 11-fold during the first 2 weeks after starting prescribed opioids versus patients not taking opioids. During the 6 months after starting opioids, risk of dying increased 4-fold. This is one of the most horrifying statistics that I've ever seen. So you have a loved one with dementia, okay, dementia or Alzheimer's. They are prescribed a painkiller, but their doctor doesn't know this research because it's fairly new, right? So they just don't know. So someone comes in, they have dementia and they're in pain and they're prescribed an opioid. Their chance of dying within 2 weeks increases 11x, right? Not one, not double, not triple, not quadruple, not quintuple, right? I could keep going, but 11 times. That's an enormous number. It's horrifying. And even if they get to the 6-month mark, it's still a 4x. Not once, not double, right? Not triple, but quadruple. So I just wanted to share this with you because most people don't need an opioid. It's a very strong medication. There's so much that you can do before that. And of course, there's always looking for the root cause. Maybe we could do something like an inflammasome. Maybe we could do something like a daily omega-3 support. Maybe we can work on strengthening the anterior and posterior chain of the body. Like there's so many different things that we could look at, right? Before we give these very powerful drugs that can increase mortality very, very quickly. So just wanted to share that with you. I think that's important. Now let's go over to one that's maybe, and I think, a lot more positive. So, and again, it's not like the first one's negative because knowing is power. Knowledge is power, right? And you want to share this information, not for you, right? Not always for you, but for other people that they think that's really important. All right. So this was a great one. You know that I love my purple vegetables, right? My purple sweet potatoes. You know, I love my wild blueberries, all those different things. So this one is from Dr. Yang, PhD, head of food sciences at the University of Turku in Finland. I've actually never heard of the University of Turku in Finland. Not that I've heard of every university, but I do read the research a lot. That's the first time that I've seen that. So lead author of a study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry. So I want to share this with you. Acylated anthocyanins, I'll explain what that is in just a second, health-promoting colorants found in purple foods are more effective than non-acetylated, I'm pretty sure it's acetylated, kind found in dark berries at promoting healthy glycemic responses and could lower type 2 diabetes risk. How does it work? It works by also decreasing inflammation and improving the gut microbiome besides the blood glucose effects. Some of the foods that can be beneficial are purple carrots, purple sweet potatoes, and red cabbage also contain these anthocyanins. So when you see these brightly colored pigmented foods, some of them are purples and or blues. Blackberries would count, wild blueberries, the cabbage, red cabbage, purple cabbage that we just spoke about, the purple sweet potatoes, the purple carrots, purple asparagus, purple cauliflower, all of those count. And that specific pigment, the anthocyanin, that purple color, actually helps improve blood glucose, inflammation, and the gut microbiome. So if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't want to overdo fruits and veggies or overdo fruit because I'm worried about my blood sugar levels, again, I can't give you medical advice, but one of the ones that you may want to look at are actually the dark colored berries and purple sweet potatoes that can actually benefit your blood glucose levels. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to link up the research for you if you're someone that likes to go more in depth at stephencabral.com/2982. Appreciate you tuning in this week, all the downloads, all the reviews, all the shares. I thank you for that. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new Cabral house call answering all of our community's questions. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.